28th of February has always been a historical day in the life of Ghana. And on the standpoint tonight, do I have a program for you? Yes, I do. You know what? When she was appointed, barely a year ago, about a year ago, there was a lot of controversy. There was a lot of talk. It was more or less like, let her do it and let's see what she can do. After 1 year, what has she been able to achieve with her ministry? Next week, Saturday, that's the 8th of March, is International Women's Day. So I'm sure you know who I'm talking about now. The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection is my guest for today. We are going one-on-one with her. And yes, I know you have itchy ears. You hear it all. My name is Gifty Anti. I welcome you to the Standpoint. I would like to say thank you to GTP New Style for my cloth and Loretta Designs for my dress. We'll be back.
Your dreams are wishful thinking, at least that's what you thought. You've been searching far and wide for the help you need so bad. I know a place you can make it happen. I know a place your dreams can become a reality. It's Noble Dream, dream big.
Noble Dream Microfinance Limited. Dream big.
We're giving 1 Ghana cedi to 1 Ghanaian girl.
1 Ghana cedi for 1 Ghanaian girl.
1 Ghana cedi for 1 Ghanaian girl.
1 Ghana cedi for 1 Ghanaian girl.
1 Ghana cedi to 1 Ghanaian girl.
Welcome back to the Standpoint. If you just joined us, well, today I'm going one-on-one with the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, our very own Nana Oyeleta, a member, and I guess a proud member of the Standpoint family. And next week, Saturday, it's International Women's Day, a day set aside to celebrate women, or is it commemorate what women have been through over the years, or mark what women have achieved over the years. This year, the global theme is equality for women is progress for all. Good to have you on the Standpoint, Nanoye.
Thank you for inviting me, and congratulations to you for your smooth transition.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to you as well. But let me go straight to the point. How has it been? Incidentally, I think the International Women's Day is coinciding with your 1 year in office.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, 1 year in office. How has it been? It's been exciting, it's been turbulent, it's been happy, it's been sad, it's a whole mixed bag. But reflecting after 1 year, it's been great. It's been great in the sense that we together as a team at the ministry have been able to push the frontiers a bit. And particularly today, I'm very happy because I met the Attorney General at the cabinet meeting, and she told me, Oye, I've signed a letter and you're getting your first draft of the affirmative action bill.
Yeah.
So,
no, that's good.
So I believe it's been great.
No regrets? Because there are those who think that you had more clout or more freedom, if I should say, in your previous position and coming into a quote-unquote political office.
Definitely no regrets, because and I remember like yesterday when I heard, I was sitting in my office, there was a Cote d'Ivoire refugee across me trying to speak French and address his concerns when I got a call that your name has been mentioned in Parliament. I said, oh, but I haven't made any statements this year. I haven't talked about Rights Information Bill. He said, no, the president has nominated you. And, you know, what happened, happened. And I've reflected, and what I thought about and said to myself in entering this office was that this is a call to serve Ghana. This is something I've been doing all my life in terms of making sure that women, children, everybody in the society is looked after and is protected. And so this is a call to service to another office, that is the ministry, to also do my bit in terms of ensuring that we have long-lasting structures, systems, and laws that protect rights of women. So for me, it's a call to serve. I've always served, and I'm still serving. So no regrets at all. No regrets.
Good to know. But how has it been being an insider? When you were outside, you were very vocal.
Yes.
You were very outspoken about some of the issues, the frustrations, what government is not doing in terms of providing for the ministry and social protection, social services, and, you know, welfare of women and children. Now you are an insider.
It's not much different.
Are you still able to fight?
Well, you should ask my colleague ministers and the president and the vice president and the executive arm. It's the same advocacy at another level. As a team, at the ministry, we still have to engage. I still have to engage in terms of funding for the ministry. So I have to engage with Honorable Setekpe and justify why I believe that the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection should receive more money. And I'm happy to inform you that our budget was tripled from 38 million to 91 for this year. So it's all about the advocacy, it's all about making the case. And what I've said is that if we don't address gender issues, issues relating to children, issues relating to social protection, and addressing the widening inequality gap and reducing poverty, would have to spend more resources to address crime, to address street children, and all the other social vices 3, 4, 5 years along the line. And we're seeing it. We saw what happened, the mob action in Swedru. We saw what happened in Nima. What do we do with our youth? So these are issues that we need to address within our social services structure. So if you have a weak social welfare system, we're going to have challenges. So we make the case, we get resources, financial resources and human resources, strengthen capacity, put the laws and the systems in place, and we will get the results as we progress as a country. So for me, it's all about the advocacy, about making the case, not only with government, but also with civil society. Sharing information with civil society, recognizing civil society as partners.
My next point. In terms of civil society, in terms of those in the advocacy and you know, NGO coalition, how well are you negotiating and are you interacting with them?
Yes, it's been a bit difficult, not too difficult. What we've had 2 major engagements where we have a meeting. We've organized a meeting and shared information on what our agenda is as a ministry, and also asked for an input. They've also inputted in some of the documents. We're going to have a regional consultation on affirmative action. We also, together with civil society, had an engagement with the president. We can improve on it in terms of opening up and strengthening the channels of communication. But the key thing is to recognize civil society as partners in development, because they hold us accountable, and in fact, quite a lot of the work that we do, they also support us. Social services, social welfare, children, and all the rest. So
I think you find yourself in a very difficult position, because when you were coming in, you were seen as one of our own.
Yes.
So we think we have a stake.
Yes.
In you.
Yes. Yes. In fact, what I say is, please criticize. Please let me know. Tell me as it is. And that's what I say. So that has been, I think, for me on one hand, and for civil society, especially with respect to gender, that has been a challenge for us. And I'm hoping as we start 2014, we're going to, it's going to be better in the sense that, say it's not about Oye.
Yeah.
It's about the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, and it's about the women's machinery being wheeled and oiled properly to work.
Right.
So, and I know that civil society will say as is.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, I've been in civil society for most of my life.
Yeah.
And so, it'll be a whole process.
Right.
But I really cherish the support. I really, really, and the words of advice and the work of civil society, even, in this year. And I'll say that it's made my work easier.
Talking about saying it as it is, why haven't we still put in place the DV board?
The DV board will be put in place before the end of this first quarter. It's work in progress.
That's first quarter?
First quarter.
That's end of March?
End of March.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It will be put in place.
Okay.
We have started the process.
Okay.
Yes, we're about 60-70% there.
Okay.
70%.
All right.
Yes.
I'm sure Adolf Ewuku will be very happy.
Yes, Adolf.
Now, before I go for a break, what were your top 5 priorities?
For last year or?
For your term in office, what did you tell yourself that these are going to be my top 5 priorities? These 5, at least I must do it either within the first year or by the end of my term. In politics, you never know.
In fact, you see, when I was sworn in, very next morning I was in the office. What I realized was that there was a change from women and children. Our ministry had now become Gender, Children and Social Protection. So there was a need to do an assessment of what it would take to deliver on our mandate.
Right.
So when I was sworn in, within 2 weeks, I had come up with an agenda for change. So carrying on with the president's vision and about transformational change. This was also what we carried out here. So we had our agenda for change and we highlighted certain key interventions. Now, one key intervention was the affirmative action bill, which today I can say we have a draft bill in place. Right. Another was a child protection policy. Today, after 1 year, I can say we have a draft child protection policy in place. Another was restructuring this whole ministry, because when we came, the assessment, what we learned was that even as this ministry was created in 2001, it didn't go the civil servant, it didn't go along with what we call an establishment. Right. And with the new mandate of the ministry, there was a need to come up with a restructuring plan. Now, gender instead of women, and we know gender is different from women. What sort of institutional structure should we have to deliver on that? Children, are there any overlaps or duplication between Department of Children and Department of Social Welfare? So what can we fuse? And then social protection, social development, social services, what do we do? So with the assistance of the Office of the Head of Civil Service, we have drawn up a restructuring plan. This is the vehicle. So that's my third. This is the vehicle that we would need. Right. Now, another major issue was the LEAP. Right. We know LEAP is serving the poorest of the poor in Ghana. So there was a need to review LEAP, more efficiency. So we started the piloting of e-payment. Right. That has started. It will be complete between March and April. And then a targeting office. Okay. And with the LEAP, we've had a lot of assistance from DFID. Okay. With the targeting office is World Bank. Let me explain targeting. Right. We have about 44 social protection interventions in Ghana. School feeding, less debt, free textbook, free uniform, block farming, etc., and LEAP. Now, we get resources from the consolidated fund, from the budget. So the question I asked was, to what extent are these social protection interventions helping the poor, reducing poverty, narrowing the inequality gap? Do we need 44 social protection interventions, or we can focus on a few that will better deliver in terms of addressing the needs of the poor? So we've had a rationalization exercise together with the Ministry of Local Government and Ministry of Finance. So this year, we're going to look at that issue more critically. And then how do we ensure that beneficiaries of social protection interventions are actually poor people? And that's why I talk about targeting.
Right.
So when we come to a community, how do we know that Kofi is poor, but Amma is poorer? What sort of scientific means do we use to verify even the information?
Right.
So the World Bank is assisting us, and in this ministry, we're going to set up a whole directorate, a targeting office, where we're going to apply scientific means.
Right.
We're going to start in Upper East and Upper West.
Okay.
And we're going to administer questionnaires and all that together with statistical services so that we have credible data. So when National Health Insurance says we want people, poor people whom we can help, I said, okay, this is a database. Pick up from there. These are the regions, districts, communities. So this is also one, and we're starting. So these are but a few. There's quite a lot of work, but these are but a few.
It is
and
quite
persons with disability,
right.
amending the Persons with Disability Act. Yeah.
And what has happened to that? With that?
We're now going to start the
Okay.
process.
So your top 5.
Yes.
Would you say that you have done something on each one of them, or all of them are in progress?
Done something on
pipeline.
each one of them.
You've done something.
Affirmative action bill is
The good news
complete.
is here, right?
Child protection policy, we have the drafts that we have to validate.
Right.
And then the LEAP, we've done the e-piloting,
Right.
and then also is a targeting office
it's
that
nice.
is going to start. And then the
Right.
restructuring, we have a plan in place. So now we're looking for money to roll out the plan.
Okay, let me take a short break and come back. It's one-on-one with the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection. This is the StandPoint. Next week, Saturday, yes, we'll celebrate women across the world. In Ghana, we are looking at women and their progress, making sure that we include the men. Remember, this ministry is now gender. Well, we'd like to say thank you to Noble Dream Financial Services with over 25 branches across the country. They said they make your big dreams come true. We say thank you to the African Women's Development Fund, who we will be celebrating on the StandPoint next week, Friday. And I'd like to say thank you to GTP New Style for my cloth. Well, they are out with new styles. Make sure you go out there, get one for that woman in your life, your daughter, your mother, your wife, whoever you think is a woman worth celebrating. But every woman is worth celebrating, you know, so you need to get that. And I'd like to say thank you to Incapo Beads for my beads. Papa Cosmetics takes care of my makeup needs. We'll be back.
The African Women's Development Fund, AWDF, has been working in partnership with women's groups across Ghana and Africa since 2001. AWDF has supported over 800 women's groups in 42 African countries. In Ghana alone, AWDF has disbursed over $3.6 million to 248 women's groups in all regions of the country. The vast majority of our beneficiaries are community-based organizations initiated by women who seek to provide a better life for themselves, their families, and the society at large. Join us in creating a better world by donating to the African Women's Development Fund. Dial 0302 521 257 and speak to a member of our fundraising team.
Draw nigh to me, and I'll draw nigh to you, says the Lord. Dig deeper into Him, and you'll find treasures for your life. Digging Deeper Conference is here again from Wednesday 19th to Sunday 23rd March. Join Trinity Baptist Church for the 5-day encounter. Theme, Imitating Christ. Speakers, Dr. Mesa Otabil, Dr. Steve Asante, Reverend Eastwood Anaba, and Dr. Reed Salmon, USA. Host, Pastor Kingsley Apieje. Time, 6 p.m. from Wednesday to Sunday. 9 a.m. on Saturday for Business Seminar with Mark Bird, and 8 a.m. on Sunday. Oasis House is at Engine Filling Station opposite UPS Lagos. Call 0540-603020. There is so much in store for us. Come, let's dig deeper to find them.
Welcome back to the Standpoint. I would like to say thank you to Loretta Desires for my dress, and of course the Ministry for Gender, Children and Social Protection for making this possible for us. You know, it's not easy to get one-on-one with a minister, you know. Well, we've talked about your top 5 priorities, but what has been your major challenge so far?
Major challenge has been resources. Financial resources to execute on our plan. That's been the major challenge that we have had. And I'm sure if we have more resources, we could even do much more. So we're very hopeful. We've engaged with government, we've engaged with the development partners, and even the private sector. Last year, we had, about the 3rd quarter or so, very interesting meeting with private sector in the beverage and in the food industry, where we brought civil society and private sector together, and even the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, and said, these are the statistics on malnutrition amongst children, especially orphans in orphanages and care. Right. What can you do within the food industry, private sector, to assist Cadbury and all the rest? So these are some of the innovations that we're looking at, but it's really been the financial resources. And we believe that we can apply these innovations, get more private sector involved. When you go to America, you go to the UK, South Africa, and others, you have a large number of private organizations, companies, corporate bodies setting up foundations to assist, either offering scholarships or helping the needy and all that. And we need to take that a step further. And that's why I'm happy to say that we also have the NGO sector under the ministry, under social development. And we're going to look at that in terms of some tax dispensation or other incentives for the private sector to scale up corporate social responsibility.
Nana, don't you think your ministry has been overloaded? Taking into consideration the budget that you are given, though you agree, you just told us that this year, thankfully, your budget was tripled. Don't you think you've been overloaded?
I do not think we've been overloaded. We're looking at the synergies, and we're looking at avoiding duplication and grouping like-minded activities or interventions into one. Gender is clearly linked with social protection. We know issues relating to gender and poverty, clearly linked to issues relating to children. Gender and children are clearly linked. And it's because of these linkages that it makes a lot of sense to put the 3 together. I think the critical issue is to look at the institutional framework and the mechanisms. So build a vehicle and a structure that would efficiently, effectively work towards delivering on our mandate, and then recognize the synergies that exist, especially in terms of information sharing and even in terms of coordinating better. It makes a lot of sense to coordinate social protection interventions from one point. So if we have 44, we have 11, to what extent do we even share information? Right. So what sort of targeting mechanisms is National Health using in getting the poor? We have to address issues relating to persons with disabilities. So how is health doing that? Right. How is education doing that? How is local government doing that? You need to have one lead government machinery that coordinates and tracks to make sure. So it's not that we're not going to manage, but we're going to coordinate to make sure that what has to be done to address vulnerabilities, inequalities, and rights of gender, persons with disability, and children are well catered for across board. For instance, the issue of KIA. We've been requested by Parliament to submit a statement and to tell Parliament how we are addressing it. And for me, looking at the whole problem is a developmental challenge. and every single sector has to be involved. So once we create that system, we'll get the information and then we coordinate. So it's more of coordination, not managing,
and
coordinating and collaboration. Because last year we wanted to start, we didn't have finances. So if anybody is out there, please give us money. we have the gender, we've created the gender dialogues, and even interministerial or intersectorial dialogues. We call them round tables. Gender-based violence is cross-cutting.
I was coming to that.
Yes.
How are you bringing the other female ministers and deputy ministers on board of what you're doing?
Yes, in fact, that plunges us into what we're going to do on Monday, where we're having the historic summit of Ghanaian women. For the first time in the history of Ghana, we're having 600 to 800 women assembled at the banquet hall across board. Women from the traditional area, the traditional authorities, school children, women in academia, female artists, lady pastors, across board women from the Muslim communities. What are we doing? We're celebrating women and commemorating International Women's Day. That is a starter for us in terms of engaging with women. Last year, we also had a wonderful engagement with female ambassadors. For the first time in the history of Ghana, we have about 18 to 20. And we're going to continue and engage first on informal basis with our female, and that engagement was with female ambassadors and then also female cabinet ministers. This year, we're going to add on the deputy ministers. It's all about the cash.
It's all about the cash. But that brings to mind the MPs, the female MPs.
We engaged with the committee a few times. I must say that there's a need for us to engage more with women in Parliament. Once we roll out this year, we will definitely do that. We've had discussions with the chairperson, who is incidentally the former Minister for Women and Children. Thank you, Auntie Julie. She's been so supportive.
Yeah,
and this is what
she's amazing.
Yeah, this is what partnership is all about. She's held my hand throughout the year, throughout this year, last year, and I'm very grateful for that support.
Okay, Madam Minister, we know you are intelligent, you are bold, you are confident, you speak well, but how well can you lobby? Because when it comes to NGOs out there who are into advocacy and activists, they're looking at the major hurdles in Parliament.
When we were talking about the 5, I forgot 2. The human trafficking regulations, the LI, and then the domestic violence, which we were able to complete and submit to the Attorney General last year. Lobbying, well, I think it's not for me to say. But whatever it would take, whatever work it would take to get these critical bills through Parliament, we will work hard to get them through Parliament. That's one I can assure you. And I know Parliament is ready. In fact, just last week, they discussed the Property Rights of Spouses Bill and also the Interstate Succession Bill. I know that the committee discussed it. So whatever it will take, we will work very hard. And I know both sides are ready and they have the interest of women at their hearts. I know all the members of Parliament have the interest of women at their hearts and will gladly support us to pass these bills.
Now I see the lobbying skills. Let me take another break. When we come back, we'll go to Facebook. I have some comments there, and then we'll look at International Women's Day, which is next week, Saturday. Thank you to Noble Dream Financial Services. That's Noble Dream Microfinance Limited. They are based in Kumasi, but they have 25 branches across the country, and they say that they will help you make your big dreams come true. Thank you to African Women's Development Fund, who support African women's rights organizations across Africa. Thank you to GTP New Style, Loretta Designs for my dress, Incapo Beads for my beads, and Paba Cosmetics for my makeup. We'll take a break. We'll be back.
Your dreams are wishful thinking. At least that's what you thought. You've been searching far and wide for the help you need so bad. I know a place you can make it happen. I know a place your dreams can become a reality. It's Noble Dream, dream big.
Noble Dream Microfinance Limited. Dream big.
Draw nigh to me, and I'll draw nigh to you, says the Lord. Dig deeper into him, and you'll find treasures for your life. Digging Deeper Conference is here again from Wednesday 19th to Sunday 23rd March. Join Trinity Baptist Church for the 5-day encounter. Theme, Imitating Christ. Speakers, Dr. Mesa Otabil, Dr. Steve Asante, Reverend Eastwood Anaba, and Dr. Reed Salmon, USA. Host, Pastor Kingsley Apieje. Time, 6 p.m. from Wednesday to Sunday. 9 a.m. on Saturday for business seminar with Mark Burr, and 8 a.m. on Sunday. Oasis House is at Engine Filling Station opposite UPS Lagos. Call 0540-603020. There is so much in store for us. Come, let's dig deeper to find them.
Ba sidi guda ke ba yari yang Ghana.
Ke sidi kome ke ha Ghana gbeke yo kome.
Ghana adofo. Muma yenyi sidi bako. Emma Ghana abayo ebia.
Give 1 Ghana cedi to 1 Ghanaian girl.
Give 1 Ghana cedi to 1 Ghanaian girl.
Welcome back to the Standpoint. Well, I would also like to say thank you to EcoSpa. They normally give us water. And TT Brothers, they give us juices for our refreshment. Now, Madam Minister, before I go on Facebook, there's this question that, you know, the Standpoint, we say it as it is. We need to ask. There's a perception out there that you don't get on with your 2 deputies. You don't allow them to do anything and you overshadow them.
Well, that is a wrong perception. We have a mandate to deliver. We're here to serve the people of Ghana. We work in accordance with procedure and work in accordance with law. As the minister, I have a responsibility to government and to the people of Ghana to ensure that in everything we do at this ministry, we do in accordance with laid down procedure. And that's exactly what we're doing. We are all learning. I am learning. My 2 deputies are also learning. And so that is how it is here. So it is a wrong perception.
So what are you doing to make sure, of course, you've cleared the air on the Standpoint, but people would like, I don't know whether would like to see you more often with them because, you know, people are capitalizing on it. Say, well, the few women that we have out there, you know, they don't seem to be getting on, they are fighting, they are doing this. So how can they tell us that they want more women?
A human environment is a human environment. A work environment is work environment. So issues would crop up, challenges may occur. The great thing is that there's a procedure for addressing these challenges. Within the government structure, the government of Ghana structure, we have a code of conduct, and the president launched it last year.
Yeah.
We have our code of conduct and we have the ethics. And we are obliged to comply with our code of conduct. So nobody stands in the way of the code of conduct. We have to make sure that we comply. And as a minister, I will comply and enforce the code of conduct. Yeah. That is what I will do.
So you don't have anything personal against any of them?
I don't have anything personal. I'm here to work and serve the government of Ghana and the people of Ghana. I can't bring any personal idiosyncrasies. I'm here to serve. I've been told what my mandate is. I have a team, and we're working together to deliver on her mandate.
It's not about Nanoye, it's about the women and children and
the men and the boys and the persons with disabilities
of Ghana.
And the vulnerable persons of Ghana.
Okay, now they are here on Facebook, so let me go straight there. Let me read some of the comments here. My post was, if you should meet the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection today, what would you ask her? Saha says, I will ask her how far she has gone with the Kath case. Vicentia Arthur says, what can be done about spousal killings? Now, Mariam Umar Sayada says, I will ask her about the missing baby at Kath and how far she has gone on that. Abdul Samed Ibrahim says, I will ask her the steps she is taking to resolve the rampant child trafficking at Kath and what she's done about the recent case concerning Suwalba. Alexander Anderson says, what is her ministry doing to help curb the brutality of women and minors by unscrupulous men in our society? Abina Frimpomo Fori Yabua, I will ask her whether she knows the existence of special schools where children with special needs are educated and whether she is aware that feeding them at school over the past 2 years has been a living hell. Glow Adams says, what is she doing to promote decency among women? And then Yusra Adams says about her position on the CAP issue. Now I have, I think Bernardo Fori, I'll ask her what she's doing to prevent same-sex marriage in Ghana, in spite of her willingness to protect those people engaging in that act. Now, these are some of the few comments here, but CAF issue is a big
Confanoche. And to say that, in fact, this is not the first time I've come across this case. It's a very important case. We issued a press statement in relation to that. Our regional directors have visited the lady in question and her family, have interviewed her. We're providing counseling services. We are aware that the regional minister has also issued a statement, is investigating, police is investigating. We are aware that the Ministry of Health is also investigating. So we're waiting on the results for these investigations. But in the interim, we are providing counseling and psychosocial support to the lady and her family if they need those services. So that is what we're doing. But broadly, to talk that in civil society, I dealt with 3 such cases in Accra, in 3 hospitals in Accra, and have also
where the babies died and the
babies died. The babies died, and then the mothers had cause to believe that the babies had not died, and there was an investigation. So I have 3 personally, and then as a minister, 1 other case was also reported to me. So I'll be recommending that the Ministry of Health and those in charge of hospital administration lay down procedure, registration of the death, information, communicating information to the mother, and because sometimes the mother may even be unconscious after delivery. So a way of communicating, because when you fill your card and everything, you have the next of kin. So if the mother is unconscious or is not in the position to respond or communicate, the next of kin should be sought. So there has to be laid down procedure. The cat story gives us a lot of lessons. We need to put down the procedure. If the baby has passed on, the baby should be presented to the family, and there should be a discussion with the family on what they would want to do. If they want to bury, they should be given the body. If they want the hospital to dispose, they should also so there should be a procedure, and there should be records.
It's becoming a worrying trend.
In the first case that I dealt with, they say the baby was buried by a watchman or something. In the second case, they said the baby was sort of all torn up, was dead. in the womb, so didn't really come out. In the third and the fourth case I dealt with, the explanation was that the baby had been buried. In fact, there were twins. In 3 cases, they were all twins, and only one survived. Okay. And then so the thing is, for the avoidance of doubt, whether the baby is torn up in bits, whatever it is, show to the next of kin or to the mother or whoever, so that they are satisfied.
Is it a fight you're going to take on?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a fight. It would be a recommendation to the Ministry of Health.
What about that young woman at Bunahafo who had to go through cesarean, lost the baby, and then a surgical towel was left in her stomach that has rendered her barren for 2 years now, and she's been back and forth in court, and nothing seems to happen?
As usual, I can't verify this case. I don't know. I haven't.
It hasn't
I can't
come to
establish the. It hasn't come to my notice. I can't establish the facts. Yeah. But the good thing is that there is a procedure. We have the Medical and Dental Council that hears complaints of medical malpractice and negligence. So I'm appealing to the woman in question or her family to file a complaint. They have the capacity and the power under the laws of Ghana to investigate such cases.
Now, Saturday is a big day.
Yes.
Next week, Saturday, 8th March, International Women's Day. What is your ministry doing?
We're doing a lot. We started with a community derby in Advocacy, where the chief and the people of Advocacy were present, and we focused on education of girls because we believe education is the foundation stone and the cornerstone for development in Ghana. Girls' education. So that was brilliant. We're doing a lot of media engagements. And then because it's a Saturday, we are commemorating this on Monday, the 3rd of March. I invite all women and all men who love us, women and girls, to come to the banquet hall. And we're having the historic Ghana Women's Summit, and the theme is equality for women in progress for all is through total inclusion. So we are demonstrating this total inclusion on Monday.
Total inclusion mean the involvement of men as well.
The involvement of men. Right. So this is an agenda that we have been pursuing as a ministry. Yeah. So even last year for our gender-based violence, 16 days the theme was involving more boys and men, and we're going to roll out a big gender-based violence campaign on the preventing gender-based violence, where we're involving men and boys. So area boys, please get ready. We're coming, and all the Key Fit clubs with all the guys, we're coming. Please be our major supporters for ending gender-based violence. And all of you, I want you to say no to gender-based violence. In fact, Ashaman and our community in Ashaman have started, and we are hoping it's going to roll out. But to 3rd of March is going to be a very wonderful, great day. Everybody is going to be there. All women, please come. This is historic. We've never done it in Ghana before, but we're doing it as Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection.
Well, thank you very much. It's really been revealing, and I think you've been very frank on this platform, and we are grateful.
Thank you.
We are supporting you, we are praying for you, and we are fighting for you behind the scenes.
Thank you.
So we know that you will not fail, and you will not fail the women, children, men, and indeed Ghanaians.
Thank you very much, and hold us accountable.
We will.
When we do the wrong things, let us know. I think that is very important, so that together we will build Ghana. Thank you so much, and congratulations, and I know you're going to soar like an eagle.
Amen to that. Amen.
Thank you.
Well, so you heard the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection. Have a wonderful weekend, and see you same time next week. Bye.